how do you manage to stay motivated?
It's hard. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you really get burnt out and like you just don't even want to listen to music in the car or anything. Like, but I've always tried to like dig into other passions. Like if I'm feeling burnt out, I like to go on a bike ride, like a little BMX bike that I like to take around, or work on my car.
Right.
You know, it's nice though because it helps me stay inspired. Like sometimes if I'm working on my car and then I have a gig later that night, I'll actually be a lot more inspired and kind of reach more of my potential for playing.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Will Nelson Jr. and today we are back with another episode of Clippers and Convos. And today's guest is the Ahren Shreeve, my all-time favorite guitarist in the city of Boston, hands down. So it's an honor to have him in the chair with us today. And today we're going to talk about what it takes to be great at your craft and also the pros and cons of being detail-oriented, which he is. So stay tuned to the end. There's a lot of good nuggets in there, and we have a surprise, some good news at the end. And stay tuned. We'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Ahren, what's going on, man?
How's it going, Will? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming up here, man.
Yeah.
For those of y'all that don't know, Ahren is the man. Ahren is one of my top favorite players in New England that I ever heard. So it's truly an honor to have you here today, man. Like seriously, like I've been inspired by you since the first time I heard you play. So thanks for coming up here.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Seriously, man.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you've been inspired. Hopefully I can share some ideas. I've been inspired by your playing as well. A lot of your, chord choices and influences are different than mine, and cool to learn from each other.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I know you're from Western Mass. You started playing guitar ago, but let's talk about your journey. Like, where did your journey as a guitarist start?
Yeah, well, my dad had a acoustic guitar, like a Taylor, just sitting around in the house, and he would play it sometimes. But growing up, I was around 5 or 6 when I started asking about it, and just like having some interest in it. Was lucky enough that for my birthday, my parents got me like a mini acoustic guitar. Got me set up with some lessons.
How old were you again?
Like 5 or 6.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, I just took lessons all throughout, like growing up, pretty much until I was 19. And now I take lessons here and there from people that inspire me. It's always something to learn.
Yeah.
But I was super lucky to have lessons growing up and just stay motivated and inspired with guitar. It's always been a passion of mine.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like in your career so far, where was a turning point like in your playing?
In my playing?
Yeah,
that's a good question. I think, in middle school, in 8th grade into middle school, beginning of high school, I got really into Stevie Ray Vaughan and blues. So that was when I kind of took my first interest of my own. Until then, I'd been just playing whatever my teachers were assigning me, like classic rock stuff, Beatles, Led Zeppelin. But yeah, I think that was the first turning point for me, like style-wise. Yeah. Got really into Stevie Ray Vaughan. And then 19 or 20, throughout high school actually, before that, starting to get more into like funk and jazz and fusion. And then from there, like now I'm more into R&B and soul, and taking a lot of inspiration from singers rather than guitar players. Yeah, I guess a couple turning points, but started in like middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like when I first heard you play, I definitely was just like blown away. And you just have a unique ability to express yourself on the instrument. And
Thank you.
For me, I can say like guitar for me has been a little challenger. Like starting at such a young age, for me, like guitar it was a lot of fun. It was very fun when I was younger. But now when it's your occupation and it's something you're doing so regularly, it can be challenging to stay motivated and things like that.
Definitely.
But how do you manage to stay motivated?
It's hard. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you really get burnt out and like you just don't even want to listen to music in the car or anything. Like, but I've always tried to like dig into other passions. Like if I'm feeling burnt out, I like to go on a bike ride, like a little BMX bike that I like to take around, or work on my car.
Right. I know you're really
in
the car.
That's like the other half of my brain. It's really maybe an issue, but it's it's nice though because it helps me stay inspired. Like sometimes if I'm working on my car and then I have a gig later that night, I'll actually be a lot more inspired and kind of reach more of my potential for playing. But that's one way. And then another thing is just not taking too much of one style or not taking too much of one gig. A big industry here is the GB industry, like wedding gigs, corporate events. Like that's a great way to make your money and make a living as a musician. But like just filling your schedule with those and not doing any soul fulfilling gigs can really, like, I think you've experienced the same thing, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I was talking to someone about this the other day about I'm gigging all the time, and I'm grateful for it. But I think gigging could be dangerous in the sense if you're doing like the same type of gigs.
Yeah.
Because there was a point where I looked at my Spotify and I'm like, what music do I actually like? Like all the music I'm learning is for the gig I'm doing, and the gig that I'm doing is, it's just, something in GB or something in the corporate world, which is great, but at the same time, I feel like you can lose sight of why you even play or what inspires you.
Definitely.
Things of that nature.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also inspiring parts of those songs for a dance set. Like there's a lot of great guitar parts and cool things to take from any type of music. But yeah, if you're just doing the same thing the whole time, every gig, every week, it's hard to appreciate it. It's hard to know what you actually like and what inspires you.
Yeah.
But,
did you have a natural feel for the instrument or was it something, do you remember a time where you weren't great?
Well, when I first, this is a core memory for me. Like when I got my first acoustic guitar, like that small one I was telling you about.
Yeah.
When I was 5 or 6, I unboxed it, came home with it, and just held it the wrong way and had it was complete, like holding it like a lefty or something, I was like, so I think it was, I think I had to work on getting familiar with it for sure. I think I've relied on my ear a lot, and that might have been more of a natural ability for me that I've definitely had to work on and do ear training, but it's been more fun for me, and I feel like I've been able to get the hang of it more. And then just hearing the details in music, trying to find ways to simulate those on the guitar. that's the ear training stuff that I think I've been a little bit better with. But yeah, it's definitely like guitar technique was not natural for me.
Yeah. I guess like how would you say you're naturally wired? Because I remember taking the first lesson I took with you, and what do we worked on like different ways to play, approaching notes and different ways to play like the same melody to get different sounds. And I was like, wow, this guy is extremely detailed in, how would you say to operate at the level that you are? What does that take for you?
I think one of the most, like you said, details. I think that's one of the most important things, like being detail oriented. At least for the style that I like to play. Like some people have, like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Some people have the raw, like fire, like emotion, like Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Like I doubt they're concerned about all the small details, but they just have the energy that they can put into it. And
that makes sense.
But my style is more, I think, detail oriented and focused on those small expressions, like more similar to a vocalist. I think, yeah, being detail oriented, I think, is the biggest thing for that. And I've always focused on details my whole life with everything.
Yeah. I can see that because if you said you did BMX, like I used to skateboard. Like you have to be like highly detailed, and very process based kind of mindset to be able to be good and consistent at those things.
You still skate at all?
No, I would like no.
Yeah,
I wasn't really good. I could just like ollie and do some basic.
What was your best trick?
I would say I would say like a ollie. I think a push shove it, like basic stuff.
Okay,
like that,
yeah. So I never got that far. Like I also had a hard time with BMX learning tricks, and I don't know how did you like learn off of YouTube videos?
I did look onto some YouTube videos.
That's the only way I could, because I couldn't find anyone else who was into BMX at school or anything. Yeah. So it was like, watch this YouTube video, try it out, and spend the whole day in the driveway on it. And it was so hard for me. Like my best trick is a 180. I never learned like a bar spin or a tail whip or anything.
Wow.
And I only land 180s sometimes. I'm not athletic at all. I'm not coordinated, but yeah, you definitely like detail oriented for that stuff. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, you brought up like YouTube. I know like you on social media, you're very consistent and you do a good job. I would say like being in touch with the people, your followers, and sharing and stuff. Like, how did that happen like over time for you? What was that process like as your following grew? How did it even grow?
Yeah. Well, I knew I wanted to like work with a bunch of different bands and develop my sound and my image for my own guitar playing.
Yeah.
I also like recording things. I like keeping a record of things and like documenting stuff. So I think it started in high school. I started my music page as a way to like document or log my favorite moments on guitar, or like keep track of my progress. I mean, that point I discovered later. I started looking back on older videos. I'm like, wow, I see how I grew. So like the progress part is cool, but I started because I wanted to have like my potential, my favorite moments on guitar, like be able to reflect on them. And then I saw people making, kind of making an image or a business off of Instagram and YouTube. So I thought I could build off of that and build off of my music account and start just posting consistently. I actually, do you know the guitarist Seth Rosenblum?
That name sounds familiar.
He's a blues guitarist here in Boston. He's an amazing player. But when I was first getting into growing my Instagram, I kind of like scheduled a lesson with him to talk about how to grow your Instagram and how to do social media. He gave me a lot of great pointers. Like consistency, I think, is the biggest thing. Everyone talks about the algorithm and how it's so hard to predict.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing you can do is like post consistently every 2 days or so, or every day if you can, and put kind of low effort into it so that, you know, like it's just more natural that way. And then the algorithm, you can't really like make content to please the algorithm. You just put out a bunch of stuff and sometimes something will get picked up.
Right.
So consistency, I think, is the biggest thing. I had to work on making it visually appealing a lot. Yeah, I'm not really, naturally minded in that.
Yeah.
That's a big thing on Instagram is just, or any social media, I think, is just having it be aesthetically pleasing and like good lighting, close-up details, good quality. That's, I mean, that's still not very easy for me to like get good quality and good visuals. And, I don't think I'm like naturally minded in that sense. But
What about the process of recording that often? I know some places where I get caught up is dang, running out of ideas or worried about, talked about this before in previous episodes, is like being a perfectionist and, know, how do you overcome that stuff?
It's so tough. I would spend hours trying to make one video because it just trying to do like another take because there's one small mistake that probably no one would notice. But I want to have my full potential on the internet if I'm posting it. So like that would drive me crazy. And then I started to think about just like taking my phone to gigs and recording gigs and then like pulling clips from it. So whatever happened live, like I'm not going to do another take of it. So it's just, I'm pulling my favorite moments from a gig. Sometimes there won't be any, or sometimes there'll be up to like 6 or 10 clips. But usually I can get around like three clips from a gig.
That's good.
Moments that I like.
Yeah.
And that's been a good way for me to not spend too much time at home, like redoing takes. But in the other sense, if you're not playing with a bunch of different bands, if you're not playing a bunch of different genres, you kind of get pinholed into one genre by posting all your content from like 1 or 2 bands that you're playing with.
So, that makes sense.
So that's something that I'm trying to unwind a little bit and do more videos from home and more covers in different genres. And but yeah, it's tough to do everything.
Wow. Well, I know, like, I think I saw that you like have some, like, you partner with some brands on like certain products and stuff. Like, what brands do you partner with?
Yeah, Victory amps. I've been using their amps. Actually, the guy I mentioned, Seth Rosenblum, introduced me to Victory, and yeah, it's like a Fender Deluxe Reverb, but a boutique example of it. Like, I really love that amp. It's got a master volume, so I can crank it up and plug straight in and get some overdrive, or I can use that as a pedal platform.
Wow.
I've been working with them for a couple years, and then Stringjoy Strings. I don't know if you heard of them.
I think through you. Yeah.
Yeah. They're based out of Nashville.
Okay.
But I actually like their strings a lot. That I get their like orbiters. It's a coated string, but it's not too slippery like Elixirs. It's
Okay.
yeah, they're nice strings. And then a couple different guitar companies like Josh Williams Guitars, cream tea guitars and pickups, Guild guitars, which I saw you have a beautiful Guild right behind me.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like such a cool part of like having a platform online is the ability to work with brands.
What was your first, do you remember like your first DM or email
Yeah.
about getting, how did that happen?
That's a good question. Yeah, because I bought a Victory amp, and I had a long-term plan in my head. I was like, I'm gonna post all my videos with this amp. It sounds great. I genuinely like it, but I'm gonna post videos with it for a couple years and grow my Instagram while doing that. And then when it's at a certain level, then I can reach out to them and say, hey, I've been using this amp for like 2 years and it's in all these videos. I love it. I would love to work together. And it actually worked out. Like that was my first one, I think, is Victory amps.
Wow.
And Stringjoy happened at the same time because the artist rep is the same.
Oh, wow. How long did it take for that to happen for you?
How long did it take? Probably three or 4 years.
Wow.
I think.
That's a lot of consistency.
3 years, yeah.
That's a lot of consistency.
Yeah. I think I moved slowly too. I've always kind of moved slowly and taken my time with things. But
How do you
definitely
think
way
that's benefited you?
moving slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question because I always focus on the ways it's held me back, but I think it's allowed me to be more thoughtful in decisions and maybe like have more balance in life. I think that's the biggest thing is like have more of a, not be so all in where I'm moving fast and like I still have time to work on my car and bike around and go on date nights with my girlfriend Sophia.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm actively trying to move faster than I usually do, but it's just like I just always move slow. Yeah.
I think that's very interesting because, and I would say inspiring for, people that are aiming to get where you are musically as a person or your platform, because we can, in a world where everything's, people talk about moving fast, like you need to move fast, or you think that you're not supposed to be where you are supposed to be because you think you should be. There's so many things you can be overwhelmed with on what to work on or what to prioritize. But in a world, I feel like where culture is saying the opposite about moving fast and grinding and waking up at 6 a.m. to play guitar for 13 hours and don't go outside or work on whatever your craft is, to overdo that. And for you to say, it seems like it makes sense being detail oriented and moving slowly. You can catch traction faster than maybe some people who work all the time. But maybe not working on the right things, so you're not catching traction. So that's pretty inspiring.
I do think any traction you get while moving slower is more, what's the word? Like it lasts longer. It's more sustainable. Like faster, I feel like fast growth kind of is, in and out. Like I think it's hard to hold on to fast growth, but if you move slowly, I think it's more like you grow a more loyal. If you're like building an audience online, you build a more loyal audience, or you build more loyal connections, or
Wow.
What about you? Like, what do you think? Because I know you do a lot of things like guitar and being a barber and going to school for all of that stuff. Like, what's your pace been like? Overall with things that you want to work on.
I would say I've been wanting to move. Like in my mind, I'm trying to run all the time, but I felt like the actual pace of my life has been slower. Because I look back at cutting hair, like I've been cutting hair now for probably like 13 years, which sounds crazy.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds crazy. Like because I've been in Boston for 15 I mean, 10 years now since 2015. So probably like 3 years before that, I was already cutting hair.
Where were you before Boston?
New Jersey.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm from
what
Jersey.
part?
A town called Roselle, New Jersey. So it's like from New York is about 35 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But I was there, playing guitar. I started at, I don't know, like 6 years old or something like that. My whole live looping thing that I do at my gigs, I started doing that since like high school. But in my mind, I'm trying to run. But when I look at the reality of how things happen, they didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
So it, like, you even asked me this question to show me like, hey, things took a lot longer. So being patient with myself is actually how it worked. I just didn't know it was happening, that it took that long to develop, Well, yeah. So how do you personally deal with imposter syndrome?
Yeah, it's tough because, like, especially with the online stuff, it's hard to see the people on the other end of it interacting, and it's hard to see any impact that you're making. So, like, any deals that are made with brands or gear demos or that stuff, it's hard to know where to set my rates and how to value myself with the platform that I built up. And also being a younger guy, it's hard to feel feel as valuable as maybe other people might value me. That
makes sense.
And it's the type of thing where if you don't speak up first, like, people are gonna take advantage, and if you don't set your rates or anything, people are gonna just have you do the job for free. Even like kind people and people I'd be friends with, like, so that's a hard thing. So I'm always second guessing. It's hard to know how to. How do I deal with that though? It's I think talking to other people who are doing similar things to me.
Yeah.
And see how they navigate business relationships, and like it's tough too because with music, like, you're working with a lot of your close friends, and there's so much fun. Like, there's so much fun in music, and that's like ultimately why we're doing it. But like, I think just trying to talk to others in the same boat and support each other, validate each other. I think that's how I'm trying to get through it. Yeah, and trying to get better.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming out here today.
Yeah, that was quick.
Yeah, it was quick. I'll get the mirror and I'll show you the haircut in a second. Check out the haircut.
All right, let's see. Yes, fresh cut. Awesome, man.
You didn't ask me any questions, so I was like, man.
I just trust you to do your thing. Yeah. No, it came out great. Yeah, I like to just have it kind of do its thing on top and be kind of messy, but
cool, man.
Yeah, it's a great length.
All right, let's go.
Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah. So I know I was just out in LA a couple of weeks. Past couple weeks, and like after the fires and everything, it's been much different mood out there. It's been cool to see the community kind of coming together. But I know you've been posting about the Lauren Ben's family.
Yeah.
And how do you know them?
Well, I'm dating Lauren, so I just went out there for the first time to meet her family, and over Christmas, and then she's from Altadena. Yeah. So I went and saw everything. They toured me around the entire city, and then we were here chilling, watching a movie. Her mom calls and is like, "Hey, there's like a fire." And they were like, "What do you mean?" And then we look on CNN, and it's like all over the news. So then we call hotels to get them out of there because their town didn't get an evacuation notice yet. And then,
oh man,
yeah, they didn't get an evacuation notice. So but we told them, hey, it's like close to you guys. You need to get out of there. So we called the hotel. And the hotel, the lady didn't even know that there was like fires at the hotel that we called.
Wow.
So we called
so
them,
fast.
booked them a room. So they got there like 2 hours later because it was hard to get out the town because eventually they got an evacuation notice. And they got to the hotel and the lady was like, if you called 10 minutes later, we wouldn't have had any rooms
That's
for them.
insane, wow.
So then it was like all the waiting because they didn't know if the house got burned down. So that was even a lot of anxiety, just like, we can't go back, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, they lost their home and everything. So they're like rebuilding. And it's very interesting knowing someone that's, directly impacted and stuff.
Yeah.
But
going out there, I was staying with a friend in like the Valley area. So his neighborhood didn't get burned, but he works with some people that lost their house in Altadena, and it's different when you know someone and hear like see how they've been affected. Like this guy was wearing all donated clothes, and it's insane. Yeah. It's gonna take years to rebuild, but I'm sorry that happened.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry that people that are affected by that. I think I saw you have a do you have a fundraiser or no?
Fundraiser. I was Ella Ray Feingold on Instagram. She's like a funk guitarist, but she started a fundraiser, and I put that up on my account as well. I put some money towards it, and it just shows up on your account if you do that. So
okay.
But yeah, it's been cool to see all the people coming together to support families, and it seems like Lauren's family has been getting some support, right?
Yeah. I think what we could do, maybe we could put both of theirs. Yeah, actually, that's what we do. We'll attach both of their GoFundMe links. Was it a GoFundMe or was it something else, or do you know?
I'll pull it up.
We'll figure it out. But there would be some links to help out some families in Altadena.
Yeah.
And then one thing I also wanted to do, I appreciate you coming to the show.
Yeah, man.
And I know you have a big community with people who follow you and want lessons from you. I myself want lessons. But so we're gonna donate. We're going to donate some lessons, 3 lessons, 1 hour lessons with Ahren, or however you do your lessons,
Yeah, they're usually hourly.
Yeah. So we'll donate that to you, man, and hopefully some people can get over the hump.
Thank you, Will.
Learn from a great player like Ahren. So we're going to play some guitar for you guys and see you on the other side. Peace. Thank you.
I love your chords.
I love your playing, man. I love everything.